Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with Jay Unboxing here, giving you a personal prediction for Zach Parker versus John Ryder. And as always, this is just my take, of course. Yours can be left down in the comments section below. Pretty interesting domestic fight. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one, picks, bets, all that good stuff in the comments section below. A little bit of fight info here. We have Parker versus Ryder taking place at the O2 Arena in London because apparently every fight over there takes place in the O2 Arena. This will be airing on BT Sport over there in the super middleweight division. Honestly, a solid under the radar fight at the domestic level with kind of world title implications attached to it. Parker, originally scheduled to face Demetrius Andrade, who is busy not fighting anyone, will now battle veteran John Ryder, fresh off the biggest win of his career, a split decision over Danny Jacobs in February. Parker is unbeaten, talented, Ryder is experienced and tough. So what prevails in this fight? That's kind of the biggest question here. And it's a good one, so let's get in there and break this one down. Starting with Parker. For Parker to win, I think you want to use your dimensions. You are the bigger man. You're taller. You have the longer reach. You're going to want to make this count. Again, I must always stress this. If you have the dimensions, you have to use them for them to matter. And that can start with a quick, stiff jab. You can also use your kind of dimensions to turn him, kind of keep him at bay when you're giving him those angles. You can control range with those dimensions by simply stepping in and out, turning to the side, and being so far out that he has to readjust before trying to commit. Don't back up in straight lines or go to the ropes and cut some of those inches of reach and height off of yourself. Instead, take the center of the ring, keep it, and use those dimensions to your advantage as you're trying to pressure him back, give him different looks, and keep him off balance. I would also say time the left uppercut. Ryder, as the short man, will look to come in. That's pretty obvious. He can kind of crouch at times when he does this, so time him. Use that to your advantage. You also dig to the body pretty well anyway, so this will be another way to kind of hunch him over and line him up for that shot. What's more, it'll also tire him and keep him relatively unfresh as the fight progresses. He'll expect that body blow, and you can turn it up just a bit more and land that uppercut. A decent shot that you have in your arsenal anyway. It's certainly something you should try to utilize in this contest. And finally, I would say vary your attack. Kind of in those last two keys, that's sort of what I was alluding to, but I'll specifically outline it here. You can use those angles fairly well. You have fairly fast feet. Use them as well to your advantage. You switch stances at times, and when at the right range, when you're doing it safely, make sure to follow that in this plan. It's a good attack so long as you're doing it from that range. You have decent pop, but don't swing for the fences every single time. Take some shots off, take some of the speed off, just vary that attack as well as you mix it up. Again, as you're keeping him guessing and making him think, I think that's all the more advantage to you if you're able to get that going consistently enough. Now for Ryder here, switching over, you need to find your way inside. The range of Parker means you need to find a way to get inside and get going. You can jab step, you can feint, you can kind of get him to commit, then counter while you step in, kind of get him with that double impact. This will help you close the gap. Also, throw that overhand right as a way of arching a shot home at times. This does a couple things. It gets you closer. It forces him on the defense a bit more. Also, it's a scoring shot, of course. But then when inside, you can get to work with those busy shots, body shots, and just make sure you're not letting him tie you up. The more physical he is and the more physical he is with you, it just makes it a more 50-50 fight. Try to be the busier on the inside because that's where you'll win this fight. And speaking of busy, keep the jab busy. While you want to be a busier, messier fighter at times even, don't abandon the fundamentals. Keep with the jab. You have a strong, heavy one. It's not the most snappy all the time, but if you can be consistent with him and force him to have to deal with it, it could be one that pays dividends down the line. Use it to sort of offset Parker's timing as well. When you're inside with it, you can also set up that overhand right again as you're kind of jabbing, and then throwing that over the top as we mentioned. Catch him while he's sort of switching stances with that jab as well. He likes to switch, and if he's overcommitting with that, of course, that jab can be there to kind of pop him at every angle and frustrate him. It's certainly something that can help you in this bout. And I would finally say, finish the fight strong. Your biggest strength is your resilience. Rely on that late. It's going to be what ultimately wins or loses you this fight. If you can finish in a fury, so to speak, you have the best chance. Don't let the fight slip away too much, of course. Keep it close by making it messy, but make sure you have reserves left in the tank to step on the gas when need be. As you're digging to the body, as you're making it messier, as you're popping with the jab consistently, this will be the way you can kind of allow for you to have the best pathway late in this contest. And so it's certainly going to be your game plan, in my personal opinion. Now, in terms of my pick here, I think Ryder keeps it close, especially in those latter rounds, but my pick is Zach Parker in this one. His movement and speed will force Ryder offline and not allow him to get much going at all. The longer arms of Parker will score more and more effectively as well. As Ryder rushes in to get something going, the body attack and uppercut of Parker will begin to pay off in this contest. Might even knock him down with one of those off-balance kind of, flash knockdowns. So in the end, while Ryder might finish strong, trying to close the gap, it'll be too little too late as Parker will have done too much to build an earlier lead. Winner, Zach Parker, via unanimous decision. And in terms of the betting odds here, Parker is a decent favorite at a minus 215 with Ryder coming in at a plus 165. So basically a 2-to-1 either way you look at it for the most part. Pretty close fight, pretty close odds, and makes this one pretty interesting to watch, of course. In terms of my bet here, considering I favor Parker pretty well in this one, I'd actually go with like a medium-sized bet. Even though it's 2-to-1, I kind of think that's why I would need to kind of get some value out of it. But I am pretty confident in this pick. I've been plenty wrong before, and I'm sure you'll all tell me about it in the comments if it ever happens again. I'm sure it will. But in this particular case, that's something I'd actually be pretty confident in. In terms of Ryder, if you are a believer in the underdog here, you have decent odds. I mean, you're looking at, 1.5 to 1 or whatever you want to call it. So pretty decent, certainly something you would want to maybe lay some money on. But again, remember the favored fighter here. It's always important with these betting odds, so something to keep in mind. In any event, those are your odds. And in terms of my prediction record, as of November 4th, is 33, 12, and 1 with 10 exact. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your bets, your predictions, all that stuff, especially about this one over there across the pond. What are you guys thinking? How does this fight feel? How do you think it's going to be going? Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at jcalderon_JOB. You can email me at jagunboxing@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you there. Also, be sure to check out jagunboxing.com for schedule, results, betting odds, rankings, and more. And as always, until next time.